I'm doing good. I had a like the title here. I had a really good talk um, with my son, and it was one of the it was actually one of the best talks we ever had in a real long time. Because whenever we did have a conversation, usually a debate or an argument or something like that. But off and on, we'll have a good discussion, a good conversation. But my son called me, and the talk went really good, really well. And him and I were talking about the Roe versus Wade overturn and other stuff, and it was a good conversation. And there was stuff that I didn't know that he told me about until I looked at it furthermore. Now Texas is now they're looking at wanting to secede from the union, and they've been wanting to do this for a long time, long time. And they're looking at January 2023 completely leave the union. And which they have a right to do, but it has to be a unanimous vote to do so. And they also talked about the possible, the probability of same-sex marriage ban, and also the Brown versus Board of Education thing. And I talked about the Loving case in from 1967. It's like the Loving case is compared to the gay marriage, and which the ban at the time was, if you were black or white, you can't get married by law. You're not allowed to marry. Well, there's a landmark case in 1967. It went up all the way to the Supreme Court of that time that made the ban unconstitutional. I said the reason the gay marriage won't be banned is because the ban is unconstitutional. Period. Unconstitutional. And he talked about that Clarence Thomas is looking at overturning the Brown versus the Board of Education. Now that landmark case cannot be overturned. Can't. There are certain cases that cannot be overturned. The gay marriage ban won't happen because that would be considered unconstitutional. Won't happen. The overturn of Brown versus the Board of Education won't happen because it cannot be overturned. Because what happened back then. Well, it's set in stone. It's set in stone. Period. Now, if Texas wants to secede from the union, they could try. They could try. Now, years ago, there was this thing called the state of Jefferson. I would love to see that happen. The whole state thing, state of Jefferson. Do it. But my son and I had a really good conversation. But it's like I was telling him that even though the pro-life and the pro-abortion sides, one celebrated, one went completely nuts and just like, dude, our rights are taken away. Well, I had to tell him that, both sides did not really win or lose. Both sides really didn't get what the ruling was. Okay. And it is controversial. It's been controversial. It's been controversial and a very, very touchy subject to talk about for the last 50 years, and it will always be that for a very long time. It's giving the states power, control states, and now I do wish that some of these states would actually understand that the reasons for the procedures and stuff, and now there are cases where abortion procedures went terribly wrong, and it damaged the woman's protective system, where she couldn't have any kids and it made her sterile. There's cases where a procedure was botched, and but we do have the technology, we do have the tools we have now that we didn't have back then. Women do have the right to have the procedure, and there are reasons for the procedure. I do agree with the pro-abortion side, but I also agree with the pro-life side. It's a belief. Now, I wouldn't push any belief from both sides onto anybody. That should be your own belief. It's like science and creatism. That's a touchy thing too, And I'm not comparing the two. Just that we all have to take a step back and reflect on today as well as yesterday, because yesterday was also a landmark decision. Because in New York, there was this issue over New Yorkers wanting self-defense. Now, they were denied that because for years, people had to go through all this paperwork, all this hullabaloo, just to get a permit to own a gun for protection and self-defense. They're denied. Well, there's this thing called the Sullivan's Law, which is also unconstitutional. It made it a felony for anybody to even own a gun, even for self defense. And there was cases where you weren't even allowed to bring a gun in, say to a restaurant. If the place was getting robbed, you couldn't shoot the guy. Um, because if you did, it would be a felony, and you would get charged for having a loaded weapon on you. So they're making this Second Amendment as it's an end of the world thing. It's not end of the world. Um, but my son and I had a really good conversation. You know, and it was actually one of the best talks I had with my son. You know, I'm a father of a gay son, 23 years old, intelligent young man. My son is an intelligent, smart guy, and I love my son. Smart guy, very educated young man. He's also stubborn like me. We're we're both stubborn and bullheaded. And that I will agree. We're both bullheaded and stubborn. But I love my son. For Gen Z, he's a smart guy. You know, very intuitive. And he's a good kid, good guy. He has a heart, a good heart. And my son is a very easygoing guy to talk to, very easygoing guy, very laid back. And he could hold up a conversation for hours and hours and hours with anybody. And him and I one time talked for 3 hours straight, almost 4 hours, until morning. And my son is a very funny guy too. He'll come up with my son will come up with something funny out of the blue, and he'll make you freaking laugh your ass off, man. Like, dude, funny guy. And this is probably the reason. I don't know. I don't know that I've never been called a homophobe. Never been called that. I've always complimented my son. You know, and about here's something. Here's something you guys need to know. This. I went with my son to a pride parade. A pride parade. And it was very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it was everybody being themselves. Just being themselves. Having a good time. Enjoying themselves. And the one thing that was important to me the most, deep in my heart, that my son had a good time. And that was one of the things that was important to me as a father, is that my son, a 23-year-old gay man, enjoy himself, having a good time at a pride parade. Enjoy himself, and he did. And again, it was really interesting, and Whether you're gay, bi, lesbian, trans, whatever, you had a good time. Everybody was smiling, laughing, having a good time, just enjoying themselves because it was their day. It was also my son's day. And it made me happy as a father. Very happy. And and I wanted to cry because I wanted my son to have a good time because this was his day. And it was a few years ago. It was a few years ago, and it was really interesting. And and as long as he had a good time, made me happy. I hope one day my son gets married. I'm gonna keep my promise. Walk my son down the aisle. To meet the person he loves. I want to have two sons. I want to have one son. I'll have two sons. I'll have a son and a son-in-law. Big time. And it'll be my son's day. That can't wait. I don't care what anybody says. My son's gonna have a good day on his wedding day. And if anybody ain't down with that, I got 3 words for them. Go fuck yourself. And if anybody comments on this video and calls me a homophobe, right back at you. Go look in the mirror. Because the talk I had with my son was one of the best talks on the phone. And my son is a very intelligent guy. Very intelligent guy. And if any parent that puts their faith over their child, whether they're gay or lesbian or bi or trans, you could also go fuck yourself. Because your child comes first. That's a fact, Jack. Because your child comes first. Your son comes first. Your daughter comes first. Over your faith. It don't matter what church you go to. It don't matter what religion you are. Your children comes first. That's damn straight. Coming from me, Grandmaster Revan. If you ain't down with that, you could go fuck yourself. Look, the LGBT community is not a bad community at all. They're not bad people. They're good people. And the more I talk with my son, the more I understand is the respect I have also for the LGBT community, because they're not bad people. They're good people. They're good people. And I remember about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, um, my son and I went to Oklahoma, but by Greyhound. And on the way back, there's this gal, pretty gal, very, very pretty, and lesbian, you know, very polite young lady, very polite young lady, and also also awesome to talk to. Her and my son talked for a good half hour on the bus, half hour, and it was pretty cool. And look, if any religious dumb fuck says that the LGBT is bad people, go fuck yourself. They're good people. They're not bad. Just because they love somebody of their own sex, hey, leave them alone, man. Don't just leave them alone, dude. Shit. And any politician, anybody who says otherwise, look, leave them alone. Leave them alone. They didn't bother nobody. They didn't bother you. You know, just leave them alone. They're good people. There's few that are idiots, but a good majority of them are good people. You know, Lori Lightfoot's a moron, but who gives a shit about her? Politically, politically, politically. Not her as a person, but her as a politician. Bad decisions, I mean, whether you're gay or straight, as a politician, you have to do what's right for the people you serve. You know, because you were voted in by the people who voted you in, right? Then all of a sudden, you run a city where crime is up by a huge margin, and you ain't doing shit about it. Nothing. Um, but again, the LGBT are good people, and there's a few that you know don't have the idea of what they're doing politically, like Lord Lightfoot here, But you could be gay, lesbian, bi, trans, and still be a Christian. You can still worship God, man, and still be gay, lesbian, bi, and whatnot. You can't say that there's no gay Christian. Go fuck yourself. You can't say there's a lesbian Christian. Go fuck yourself. You can't say there's a bi Christian or trans Christian. Go fuck yourself. There are. They just have their own way of worshiping God. And whether you like it or not, they love God as any straight individual. You know, um, sometimes you have to really take a step back because look, they're human too. They're human too. Just because they're gay, lesbian, bi, trans, they're still human beings. They are still human beings, you know. And it it pisses me off that these hoity-toity churchy fuckers often say the stupidest fucking thing at the wrong fucking time. At the wrong fucking time. Because, in fact, they don't know what to say at the right time. It's mostly at the wrong time. In any conversation, you know. It's been proven. It's because they do not fucking think. They don't think. You know, they don't think. They just say it. They don't think about the outcome. They don't think about the consequences of what to say or do. It's always at the wrong fucking time. You know, it's just that nobody knows how to take the time to take a step back and think. Because even if they try, there's a few that will fumble their words and say the wrong fucking thing. What I do is I take the time to take a step back and actually think of how can I say this? How can I present this in a conversation? And hoping that I don't embarrass myself or offend or insult somebody that I'm talking to. Because a few years ago, that Davis lady in Kentucky, she caused a controversy when she denied a gay couple a marriage certificate, a marriage license, and she threw God in the conversation, which. And they asked her, "Who do you work for?" "I work for God." "No, you work for the state. You work in the clerk's office. You don't bring God into this shit." So they asked her why. "Why deny us?" She goes, "God won't allow me. Won't let me." Really? God won't allow you to hand a gay couple a marriage license. Then she turns around, denies a straight couple a marriage license. Really? First, you deny a gay couple a marriage license. Now you turn around, deny a straight couple. Tell me that isn't stupid. Because it is fucking stupid. She spent the time in jail because, and she came out of jail and on live TV, she ended up doing this as if she won. Technically, she became more stupid than she was before. If you work in a clerk's office, county clerk's office, you don't bring your religious belief into work. You work for the government, okay? Whether it's a city hall or the clerk's office or in law enforcement or the hall of records, you work for the government, whether it's local or state or federal. You cannot put you cannot through your faith use your faith into denying somebody a marriage license, because what you're doing is you're denying someone's right to get married to someone that they love. That's not your decision to make. You know, maybe your faith, but you work for the government. You work for the people who's paying your fucking salary. God damn it! You know, the taxpayers pay your fucking salary. You know, but my son mentioned, you know, now 2008 was Prop 8 here in California. 2008, the Prop 8 was the prop that would grant gay couples the right to marry if it passed. So what happened, all the way from Utah, the Mormon Church spent $122 million on Prop 8 to keep it from passing. Really? $122 million. Really? You want to get political? Latter-day Saints, huh? You want to get political? Let's see you lose your tax exempt status, man. Start paying your taxes, dude. Shit. Any church that spends that kind of money on a prop to ban gay marriage, go fuck yourself. That's why there's a thing called separation between church and state. That means it's separated. I mean, fucking A, man. You know, holy crap. Now, the thing is, now we're hearing about a gay marriage ban again, which would be unconstitutional. It's just like the Levin case from 67, which was also, the ban was also unconstitutional. And he's married to a white chick. Yeah. Clarence Thomas is married to a white chick. You know. And the ones that are doing this, the ones who are in their 60s and 70s, man. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck, dude? And McConnell, that old fuck is a flip-flopper, man. Please, somebody in Kentucky run against this old fuck and actually win this time. I want to see that. I want to see that old fucker get put to the pasture and get fucking gelded, man. Somebody please run against McConnell and actually win. Actually win. Please let it be a libertarian. A conservative one, by the way. Somebody who's crossed between Deadpool and Duke Nukem. The mindset, but also the words of George S. Patton. Somebody with actual fucking balls, man. Somebody with fucking balls, man. Because these old fuckers need to fucking go, man. Can somebody tell me if Dianne Feinstein is running for re-election this year? Can somebody tell me any old fucker that's running for re-election this year? So we can get somebody to actually run so fucking well it puts the fear into these old fuckers. Because the oligarchy needs to fucking die. The term needs to die. But the old fuckers need to go into retirement and actually shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear. I mean, come on. We keep hearing from Hillary Clinton. What the fuck? How come she ain't in a straitjacket in a insane asylum and shit? How come Bill is not at home neutered? Only thing he would fuck is actually a guard gnome in his library and shit, man. What the hell? We need new people. We need new people to run up against these old fuckers and actually win. That's what I want to see. I want somebody to run against Newsom, who is crossed between Duke Nukem and Deadpool, and have the attitude of George S. Patton, and the zero fucks of Wolverine. We need my generation to run for office and actually fucking win one. We need liberty in California. We need liberty in New York. We need liberty in Baltimore. Because Maryland is a Democratic state. Baltimore is a fucking Democratic city. We need to turn it fucking red. We need to turn Michigan and Detroit red. We need to turn Oregon and Portland red. We need to turn Pennsylvania red. Georgia red. Oh, hell yeah. We need to turn Seattle and Washington red. Nevada red. Alright, folks, this is good old Grandmaster Evan here. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, play search video, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notification. And always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed. Love you all.